are loaded. Alright, sorry guys, we did have a little bit of a technical issue there, but we did have a caution in the meantime. You haven't missed a great deal of racing because Matt Hunter did manage to get into a little bit of an issue there and bring out the caution again. But as the pit road jumble continues, as they all come off of pit road, we've got Jackson Callow actually emerge in the lead ahead of Matt Tansen, and they've swapped again. So Purnell coming out there in third place, and Dave Douglas coming out there in fourth position, and it's all jumbled up once again. What is going on with these pit stops tonight?
I have no idea, but it's interesting. Jason Martin back up into fifth now, Dave Douglas in fourth, Big Walsh in sixth. It's going to be a great finish.
It's just jumbled and jumbled and jumbled everyone all over again, and it's just been one of those things where you can't even tell. The race off pit road has actually been a huge issue tonight. There's been lots of guys who just haven't been able to get their pit stops together, and they've actually all come out jumbled up once again. So Callow now leading, and he was almost to the point that you'd write him off as far as the win goes, but he's back up there again.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at the entry to pit road. I mean, they were all over each other. And yeah, I think Callow just hit his mark a lot quicker.
Yeah, he certainly did a good job, whatever he's done. So he's out there in first place. You can actually see him right now sat there behind Skurlock, and Skurlock's actually a lap down. So he's going to be going past the pace car in a moment, actually moving up and past the pace car and take his lap back as he sits there in front of the leaders. So your leader is Jackson Callow, right there ahead of Danson and Purnell. So Danson right now sitting in between the main protagonists from Indy, and they have been the main protagonists for this race so far, with some brief interjections from some of the other guys. And it looks like Jason Martin back there as well, and I can't wait to see what he's going to do, because he sort of tried to be aggressive on a couple of occasions. It's really backfired for him, so I really want to see what Jason Martin's actually able to do, whether he's able to control that aggression and move himself towards the front, or whether I guess fifth place is all that's on offer for him tonight.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, but he's going to have less than 15 laps to get it done, so he's going to have to go pretty hard off the bat. But I think Callow's been great on the short run, so if he can get that good run off the restart there, I think it could be his race.
Yeah, certainly can. So just having a look a bit further back as well, Mitchell McLeod, who we saw running up there so competitively early on, he's down there in 18th position at the moment. He has dropped all the way back down to 18th. He's in there behind Wilton and Hunter and his teammate Leah, who we saw striking some issues earlier on. So he's as the lights on the pace car go out and they form up too wide again, ready for this restart, McLeod he's going to have a head of steam up. You know what he's like when he gets in the mood to go charging through a field, and I really do believe that he's going to be very aggressive, and we're either going to see him make his way back to the front and challenge for a top 5 finish, or he's going to wreck out. I just have that feeling that he's going to get a head of steam up, and he's going to come charging through like a rhino, and come what may.
Yeah, well, I mean, he did smack the wall a few times when he did hit the wall. But I'm having a look at his truck now, and it actually doesn't look too bad. So he's going to have some short run speed. So yeah, I think you're right. He's just going to come through the field. He has to.
And that's one thing I've seen with McLeod as well. I mean, even when his truck is absolutely bent up beyond recognition, he still manages to pull pace out of it. So the fact that he's got a clean truck bodes very, very well for him indeed. But eyes back at the front at the moment. We've got Callow controlling the pack with Purnell in there behind. And I almost think that Callow would be better served not getting such a great start this time, and maybe allowing Danson to slot in between himself and Purnell, because Purnell's got so much pace. If he gets away and Purnell gets away and manages to take Danson and take that second place, then there's no real buffer between Callow and Purnell, but he's gone, and Danson's actually got away quite well. So it remains to be seen. It looks as though Purnell is going to be able to stick on the inside of Danson and keep his foot pinned down there, as we've seen so many other guys do so far, and actually come around and actually take that position from Matt Danson, which he does, moving up into second position. Dave Douglas sitting in there behind Danson, and Jason Martin looks as though he's getting ready to make a move back there in fifth position. He is, yes.
Yeah, it sort of looks like at the end of a restrictor plate race, they're all just lined up single file waiting for their moment. When are they going to make the move?
When are they going to make the move indeed? So, I mean, there's not too long to go now. This race, despite having quite a few cautions in there, really seems to have flown by. You really don't know where to look half the time. And we're actually coming up, we're working lap 87 of 100, so we really are in the dying stages of this one so far. And Purnell just going a little bit defensive there from Matt Danson. Matt had a great run on him coming out of turn 2. And in turn, Purnell's got a great run on Callow at the moment as well, and seems to have dropped Danson. But Danson coming back off turn 4 very, very quickly indeed, gathering that back up again. And that entire lead pack are the pack of guys who've been really, no matter how much changing around we've seen so much chopping and changing and issues in the pits like we've seen so far tonight. But this group, this core group here of 5 guys here, 6 if you include Nicholas Walsh, we've been running at the front throughout this race. And you can almost say that on the pace they're showing so far, you would pick the winner to come from one of these 6 trucks.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Nick Walsh is right there. He's staying in this lead draft. And yeah, I thought Callow would actually get off to a little bit of a better restart. I didn't think Chris would catch him that quick, but Chris is definitely pushing hard. We'll just have to see if this goes all the way, if he's damaging his tyres or not.
Yeah, we'll see how far. I mean, Chris is usually pretty good on his tyres, but he's certainly quite aggressive as well. And being in there in the aero behind Callow's not going to help him in the turns, that's for sure. And if he goes too wide with Callow, that's going to slow them both up. And look who's behind, sitting there, Matt Danson. He's still there. So you can guarantee if these two go too wide and they hold it for a lap or something, Matt Danson's going to be right in there looking to take that as well. And all the while, you've got Dave Douglas and Jason Martin sat there back there in 4th and 5th. Nicholas Walsh still hanging on to the back of these guys in 6th. He's having a great run tonight, actually, Nicholas Walsh. So let's see how this turns out. So we look at Purnell right on the back of Callow. It seems like he's actually bringing that gap down every single turn. He's a little bit closer, a little bit closer. If he gets much closer, he's actually going to be right in the driver's seat of that number 46 there with him. So expect to move sooner rather than later, and expect Matt Danson to try and get a piece of it when it finally happens.
He can see Chris sneak his nose out on the outside there. He wants the outside lane, but he does the switch here and goes on the inside, gets on the inside of Callow. Don't think he's going to have the momentum.
No, I don't think he's going to get it done down there. We've been on green for a few laps now. Those tyres getting nice and hot, and as we've seen that throughout the race so far, once the tyres really get beyond about 2 or 3 laps old, that low line isn't really good for overtaking anymore. So I think that Callow knows that. I think he's quite happy to see Purnell try to run down underneath him, and I think if he only gives the option for Purnell to run underneath him, I think he can take this win. I really, really do.
Yeah, so do I. 8 laps to go.
8 laps to go now. It's just this race has gone by so quickly. Jason Martin still back there in 5th position, hasn't making any forward momentum whatsoever from that restart. I would have expected him to really try and make a bit better fist of trying to get by Dave Douglas, but Dave driving incredibly well there, just giving Martin the inside. He's quite happy to give him the inside and run on the outside. And this is one thing that I've sort of noticed with Martin over the time I've been racing. I've been racing him for a long, long time, is that he really doesn't seem to enjoy the tracks on which the high line is the preferred line. When he doesn't really like running up against the wall so much, which you sort of see at Bristol and a couple of the other tracks as well. But even in terms of tracks where you have to do your overtaking on the outside, he's still incredibly dangerous. We know how fast he is and we know how good he is, but he doesn't seem to be as devastatingly efficient. Cut him off. Purnell to the lead. Purnell to the lead. It looks as though Callow made a slight mistake there and has actually allowed Chris Purnell past for the lead. So just as I was saying that about Martin as well, he's gone down the inside of Douglas. So all change here. It'll be interesting to see if Callow's able to do anything about Purnell, take that lead back, as we are now working lap 94 of 100.
Yeah, Callow just got loose coming off turn 4 there, and that gave Chris the opportunity to blow past him down the stretch, but he's right back there. He's only a truck length behind, coming across the start-finish line.
Yeah, well, remember what happened, what actually cost Callow the lead at Indy as well. It was Callow getting loose. That time he actually put a wheel up on the inside curb, which disturbed the aero on that truck and allowed him to get loose. But Purnell certainly not pulling away from Callow, but now Purnell has the opportunity to make Callow pass where he wants him to pass. He can force him to the inside if he wants to force him to the inside. I mean, that inside move didn't even work for Martin. He's back in there behind Douglas again. So Purnell will know this. He's not stupid. He will have been watching throughout the entire race. place. And let me tell you, if Callow gets a run on Purnell will be forcing him to the inside of the track. But keep an eye on their Danson as well, because I think Callow's got not only Purnell to worry about in front, but Danson to worry about behind. And just having a look a little bit further behind them, they appear to be going 3 wide. And I think Martin's finally got the message about going around the outside rather than the inside on Dave Douglas. Looks to have actually got that move done.
Yeah, Mick Walsh, I think he's going to get around Dave Douglas here pretty soon and get himself in the top 5. That's great to see.
Alright, so as we see the top 3 running through now, they just started lap 97, so there's only really just a couple of laps really left in this one, 3 laps to go. So we've got Purnell out the front at the moment, just appears to be gapping Callow just that little bit as well, and Danson is actually closer to Callow now than Callow is to Purnell. Those two are really going to have to do something, work together, if they're going to get Callow up into a position where he can challenge Purnell again. Callow trying something a little different, running nice and high around that outside to try and get the momentum coming off the turns, and that's really what he wants. He wants to get momentum off the turns, but he has got a mirror full of Matt Danson at the moment. Danson giving him a lot of curry, and I think that this is really all playing into Purnell's hands as far as the victory goes, because Matt Danson is harassing Callow to the point that Callow can't really focus forward anymore. He's got to focus on protecting that second place.
Yeah, he does. I think there might have been contact through 1 and 2 between Danson and Callow.
Yeah, possibly, absolutely possibly, and the leader's now catching up on Tristan Yelland as well, who's a good few laps down after that issue he had earlier on in the race. So is he going to have a part to play in the result of this one as they cross the line, just starting lap 99? You can hardly believe how quickly this race is going by. They're working lap 99 at the moment. Will they catch Yelland before the end of the race? Will that have any bearing whatsoever? I remember Purnell lost the lead while trying to lap Yelland at Indy in the first round. So Danson underneath Callow. Has Callow burned those tyres off? Will Callow be able to hang on around the outside? No, he won't. Trying to get back underneath Matt Danson now as well. This is great news for Purnell with these two battling behind. Callow not giving up, having a look back down on the inside of Danson, and it looks as though Danson's fairly well confident of shoring up that second place. Callow not giving up, trying to run around the outside. They're going to have to negotiate that bit of lap traffic as well. I think that Callow might try. He does. He tries to use Yelland as a pick and manages to squeeze through on the inside of Danson again. What a move! That is absolutely the move of the season for me so far. Really forcing Danson up into Callow, into the back of Yelland. Sorry, Purnell's going to win it. Callow's going to take that second place. Absolutely fantastic, aggressive stuff there at the end. And what a finish. What an absolute brilliant finish. Martin moving his way up to 4th position, and Nicholas Walsh, as you predicted, Daniel, getting the best of Dave Douglas there at the end for 5th position. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, that was a great race. It's been a great race in these last 2 races here, and yeah, that was awesome.
Oh, well, I tell you what, if these first couple of races are anything to go by, this is going to be an absolutely fantastic season. And Chris Purnell, 2 from 2 at the moment, and Callow, it's 2 seconds from 2, so he's well in that championship hunt as well. So we're going to see, we're definitely going to see Callow come to the line now and pop some winners' burnouts as well. He might, but. Yeah, just another action-packed race in what's turning out to be an absolutely fantastic series for these ANZCAR 131 WebRadio trucks.
Yeah, it's a great burnout by Purnell here. Very long. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I think he's going to be stoked with that one because he had to work so hard for it as well. You know, it wasn't like he led the whole race. He really, really had to work for that one. He got dropped way back at one stage. I forget how far back he actually fell, but tremendous job, or a trenormous job, I should say, in tribute to our good friend Chris Purnell. So he's going to go around and complete his victory lap at the moment. And just summing that one up, we will bring some of the drivers in for an interview quite soon. But just in summing up that one, Daniel, like you didn't know where to look. You really did not know where to look in that one. It was just all over the place, everywhere. Who was your standout tonight? Obviously, apart from Chris Purnell taking the victory tonight, who else impressed you the most?
Oh, geez, that's hard to say. I think that 15 truck, that I just can't remember his name at the moment. So Ricky Cornwall, you know, he was up there until he made a mistake. He would have been great to see at the end. He was a pretty standout driver. Yeah,
Ricky Cornwall was a standout for me as well, especially in the early part of the race. And honestly, until Until that last lap, I would have said Matt Danson, absolutely. 33rd position to 3rd. Absolutely cracking job from him. But I really have to hold my hand up to Callow with that move on the last lap of the race, running Matt Danson right into the back of Yelland, basically, and boxing him in and taking that, and Danson coming back out and putting panels on him and trying to push him out the way and everything like that, but he held his nerve and came through to take that second place. So I think if you've got to pick a driver of the day other than Purnell, it's really got to be between the second and third place guys, Callow and Danson, because I think they were both absolutely fantastic tonight. Quick shout out as well, I think Jason Williams there started 26, didn't seem to have a lot of pace earlier on, finished in 7th place though, so great result for him as well. So what we might do is just actually run through the final positions before we speak to any of our drivers there at the moment. So looking at, as we mentioned, our winner for Alliance Motorsports, we have Chris Purnell. 2nd place, Jackson Callow for Lads Racing Team. And for Nexus Esports in 3rd place, Matt Danson. Then we go down for Jason Martin in 4th. Who would have predicted that out of the first 2 races he has competed in, he hasn't won one yet? That's unheard of for Jason Martin. Nicholas Walsh there in 5th. Then back to Dave Douglas, Jason Williams, as we mentioned. Then back to Doherty, Witt, Ricky Cornwall ended up finishing in 10th position. Todd Maxfield, Ryan Jones recovered at 12th, started at 12th as well. So pretty good night for him all in all, considering that accident. Then Matt Hunter, good solid run from him. Aaron Wilton, Brett Douglas, Will Barrington, Raymond Yeager, Ashley Lear, Mitchell McLeod, 8 laps down in the end. Tristan Yellen, 15 laps down, but finishing all the same. And then we're getting back into our retirements as well. I think Michael Skurlock probably finished the race, but definitely beyond that, we've got Damon Stockton, Bradley Cheney, Riley Curtis, James Robbie, Kyle Stevens, the list goes on. Josh Mickelmore, Kai Sloggett, Jake Maloney, Lee Granty, Dwayne Priest, Kevin Bomford, Leo Smith, Matt Clowett, Aaron Dillon, Gavin Sadler, all failing to reach the finish in what was a bruising encounter, but a fantastically exciting encounter as well.
Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, 18 trucks finished on the lead lap, and I'm just looking at the standings, the current standings now, and Nicholas Walsh was the biggest gainer. He's come from 24th up to 12th with that place finish.
Yeah, he had a fantastic run actually, Nicholas Walsh. I mean, we did mention him sort of at the end, but we probably skipped over him a little bit. But he was really running there in company with some of the fastest guys this series has to offer, and you know, he's really coming along as a driver now, Nick Walsh, and he's really just doing a fantastic job. Just really knocking out those results as well. He had a great result in the ANZCAR race last night. He's really coming on strong in this. He's running well in the other ANZCAR series that he runs. So fantastic job, really good job from him. And I think that his team are going to be very happy with the job that he has done so far. Of course, the teammate to Callow and backing him up fantastically well. So what we might actually do is we might grab some of these guys. We've got a few guys sitting there in the green room at the moment, and we might actually grab a chat with Chris Purnell, our race winner, to start off. And not sure if you'd like to do the honours, Danny.
Sure. Chris, how you doing there, mate?
I'm good, buddy, and yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Wow, that was a pretty exciting finish.
Yeah, man. That was a lot of hard work, to be honest with you. That was well fought. I thoroughly enjoyed that, but
yeah, for sure. I mean, I think restarted 8th at one point, and you got to the front. I think 4th place, so 4 positions in 1 lap. How did that go?
Yeah, man. The car fired off really good, but it seemed to really look after the tyres on the long run as well. I could seem to get on the bottom more than anybody else, and after sort of 5 or 6 laps, all the guys started to get real loose, and mine just continued to feel really good. So I just kept staying on the bottom.
Yeah, I definitely did notice that, and I thought maybe you probably were going to use your tyres up a little too soon, but no, you just seemed to be able to, once you're out front, you'll be able to drive away.
Yeah, I was sort of managing a few things. Once I sort of pulled a big enough gap where I was sort of happy and content with it, sort of half a second, I knew that the guys would have to have a pretty solid run out the back straight to catch back up and have a try at 3. So I was sort of just like lifting and coasting a little bit and trying not to burn the fronts up, and yeah, it worked out quite well for me.
That's awesome. Awesome to hear. Well, congratulations, and have you got anyone you'd like to shout out to?
Just shout out to Scrubbers Detailing, C21 Systems, the boys in the booth up here at Performance East Streaming, and the Alliance Motorsport boys.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. We had a couple of technical difficulties tonight. Apologies to people, but I think we got most of the action, and it was a really good race. It was awesome to watch. Congratulations.
Beautiful. Thanks, buddy.
All right, so that was your winner, Chris Purnell tonight. So that's two from two for him in this series so far, and he's going to carry a very healthy championship lead into the next round. But what we might actually do is bring up Jackson Callow now. So he is our second place driver tonight, and having taken second place there on that last lap. So we'll just we'll grab him really quickly and have a bit of a chat.
Yep.
Jackson Callow, second place once again. I really wanted to have a bit of a chat with you about that move that you put on Matt Danson on the very last lap of this race. Can you just talk us through it from your point of view?
It was great fun all night, to be honest, and then trying to get up near the wall as close as I can to get the run down the back straight on Matt, and I seen the lap car coming up, and sort of when I had the right time, got the traction, I just dived to the inside and made sure I left enough room between him and I between the lap car and got it done.
Yeah, it was one of those ones where it looked as though the positions were sort of set, and then we saw you catching up to that piece of lap traffic there as well. And I was sort of wondering, I was watching you guys close up and wondering if you're going to try and use that lap traffic to make that move. And it appeared that Danson actually tried to pull out and squeeze in between the two of you, as you can probably understand. But to actually get that done and take second place back on the final lap must be a great feeling to get that done, because you know how hard Danson races is and how hard it can be to actually get past him.
Yeah, exactly right. I was a bit shitty with myself though. I sort of got a bit loose off turn 4 and got Chris the lead, which did cost me, but I don't know if I was going to be able to hold on to the lead. It would have been a good battle, but no, just getting the old tyres, making it a little bit slippery was making it hard for sure.
Yeah, we saw you get loose when you're up there, actually there in front of Purnell, and get a little bit looser, and just that little wobble seemed to actually cost you. Is that something you found, that you were getting a bit loose on the long runs, but perhaps a bit in contrast to Purnell, who seemed to have a quite good tyre life?
Yeah, I just couldn't quite save my tyres as much as Chris. Once again, I just probably went a little bit too hard too early on them. And yeah, towards the end of the lap, like the long stints, I sort of, they faded away out of turn 2 and turn 4.
So 2 races in now. We're 2 races into this series, and you've taken 2 second places, both of which to the same guy. You've beaten Jason Martin in both races, which is something that not many people can say. And you're right up there in the championship standings as well. I mean, what are you aiming for now, sort of looking forward for the rest of this series, in terms of what you want to actually try to focus on to really take the championship fight to Purnell?
To be honest, I started this series in the trucks for a bit of fun, and now I've had 2 weeks in a row. Gone alright, I'm just going to crack down on it now, see if I can give Chris a run for the championship. But yeah, I think just being able to last I'll be quicker on a long stint, to be honest, with the tyres is what I need to work on.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, practice makes perfect, as they say, and I'm sure you're going to be wearing a groove in some of these race tracks in the coming weeks to try and bridge that gap and unlock everything that your truck has to offer. So, yeah, once again, congratulations, fantastic run tonight. Is there anybody else you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
You guys for putting on a great night again. Lads Race Team, TV Installations, Hot Toddies, Sleepies, Molly Cart Supplies, and yeah, the boys were great racing again tonight. ANZCAR's just getting a lot closer and a lot funner.
Absolutely, great to hear. Great to hear that all the drivers out there are enjoying themselves and really able to really make a good fist of this competition. So we will let you go and speak to you again soon. Thanks very much to Jackson Callow, your second place getter tonight, everyone.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
All right, so that was Jackson Callow, as mentioned, our second place getter. And I can't actually see Matt Danson there available for an interview at the moment, nor can I see Jason Martin. So what we might do is come can't even see Nicholas Walsh there actually. So we might grab Dave Douglas in for a chat. He's where did he finish in the end? 6th place. He was in that battle for the lead all night. So good to grab him in and have a quick bit of a chat. And perhaps you'd like to do the honours, Daniel.
Too easy. Dave, how you doing?
Hey, g'day guys. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. You seem to have a pretty decent day there. You sort of burnt off your tyres a little bit too quick, but you managed to stick around the top 5 for most of the day.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I could ask for. The guys, the sort of top 4, 5 cars, they were probably just a little bit quicker, and just in a long run, they just got away from me, but the tyres up.
Yeah, well, how was the racing like from your perspective? Because from up top here, it was pretty unreal. I mean, you guys were going at it.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. It's good because someone will have a dive and then they'll wash off speed, and so then gives you the opportunity to have a crack yourself. And so there's plenty of 3 wide going on. But it was good fun, intense but good fun.
That's good to hear. Yeah, so 6th place finish, not too bad, just outside the top 5. Is there anyone you'd like to say shout out to?
Not really, mate. Just Riley Curtis Designs and the team, I guess. So we had a couple of new guys running tonight, and it seems like we had a bit of fun out there, and that's how it ends, mate.
Perhaps blokes' advice too, Dave.
Yeah, definitely the boys are blokes' advice racing. Looking forward to repping those boys, especially coming up in the Xfinity Thursday Night Thunder series. Looking forward to that and seeing what we can do.
All right, fantastic stuff. Well, that was Dave Douglas, P6 tonight, so a very strong run from him, running with the leaders throughout. So just as we wrap this up, Daniel, I mean, we've had 2 races now in this series. They've both been, in my view, absolute crackers. Coming down to the last lap, it's been absolutely really close racing up and down, and 2 wins from 2 for Chris Purnell, which I don't think, with all the greatest respect to Purnell, I don't think anyone expected going into this one. I think that we assumed that if Jason Martin and Mickelmore and some of those guys that dominate the Thunder Series showed up, that they were going to in turn dominate this series. But it's not turning out that way, and I was just wondering if you had any kind of feeling as to why that is at the moment.
Look, I just think that the ANZCAR sort of the pedigree, I suppose, has just gotten a lot better the more we've run. Like, people have been running more consistently. We do like the weekly races. They're getting involved on a lot of the other series, and they're just doing more oval racing, and they're getting used to it, comfortable.
Yeah, it could definitely be the case. I mean, it's very good to see. I mean, with the greatest respect to him, Jason Martin, he's been such a fantastic competitor in ANZCAR throughout its history. Since the very beginning, he's been one of these guys who's just dominant. You know, he's almost always the guy in pole position and has made a bit of a habit of getting into the lead and just driving away. But with the greatest respect to him, it's nice to see him with a fight on his hands. And it's nice to see other guys getting up there and fighting amongst the wins. And now it's almost as though it's Purnell that's taken up that mantle in this series, at least, as the one that they really need to start looking at stopping. And Callow seems to be the one closest to doing that. But in 2 rounds so far, he hasn't actually managed to take that last step in terms of tyre life or race management or whatever it's happened to be, and actually really put one over on Purnell. So. And then everybody else behind them seems to be an alternating, changing pack that changes almost lap by lap. So you really don't know where to look, and you really don't know what's going to happen as far as the remaining rounds in this series. Obviously, we're only 2 into it, but it's really just fascinating, I think, to see the way in which the narrative of this season is going to develop over its course.
Yeah, and since we had such a bit of a mess tonight, well, not a mess, but a couple of messy wrecks that took out some top players. I mean, the points have jumbled down. Even 10th place is 28 points behind. That's Dave Douglas. He moved up 10 spots up into 10th. But so the gaps have sort of increased quite a bit after those random 2 races with some mix-ups. But yeah, I think you're right. I think if these guys keep going, Purnell and Callow and Martin, they're going to have a great race on their hands.
Yeah, it sounds absolutely fantastic. So that's basically all we had time tonight. So thank you very much, Daniel, for joining us here in the Combox to call another fantastic race here. And thanks to Roger Clark, who's been running all the cameras and everything that you've seen tonight. So from those two guys and myself, Edward Foster, have a good night, and we will see you again very soon.